This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injuries and additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
Bounce, pass. Sports. Pass, kick, pass. Dunk it.
What?
Funk it. Sure. Serve it. Here. Work it. Jocular.
Oh, welcome to Jocular,
the show where
three
best buds
talk about women's sports. And today it's going to be a heavier episode.
Yeah,
it's
it's
gonna be a
episode,
heavy
so we kind of have to maybe go back to our normal voices.
Yeah.
But not yet! Your fight master, they, them!
Tien Tran, she, her.
Katie Kershaw, she, her.
That's powerful.
That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
I feel like I'm auditioning for something, but I don't know what it is
Like
when I do that voice.
WWE. I feel like they let you announce yourself, you know?
But you know,
So I'm just like behind, like,
Yeah, you-
here I come!
Yeah, you announce
The
yourself.
Kentucky Hammer!
that
And
would be
then-
awesome
Wow,
if you had like a little mic on your shirt and you had to do that when you walked on into the ring.
Yeah, you're just like,
That would be great.
and it, Saigon single lady.
I know we're not talking about this today, but have you guys been watching any of that Rhea Ripley stuff? The WWE woman who's just like so hot and badass.
No,
No, but can you
sorry.
send it to us?
Yeah, can you
and we
send
can
us-
talk
I
about it in
mean,
the group chat.
Literally,
Yeah, let's
I just want to say, like, group chat, I'm talking about it. Rhea Ripley, I think. If you, like, I've been sending them, like, kind of psychotically to you guys.
Okay, wait. Can we do this? Let us do our little intro, and then we can get into the group chat.
Yes.
Okay.
rip it.
Today we're talking about something that is near and dear to our hearts, and an unfortunate reality we need to have continued conversation around, which is the trans sports ban, which that little fucker signed into an executive order. And we'll be talking about that for our main segment. And note that this episode is available fully on Spotify. Video.
Thank you.
I thought one of you was going to jump in.
Okay, and we're nominated for a Queerty. You can vote every day. You can vote on any browser you use.
The episode, or no, wait. The link is in the episode description.
I'm sorry, we really should have your back more.
The crazy thing is that we've been saying this exact thing for the last like 5 episodes, and I can't nail it. I'm sorry.
We are in a time where our brains are so overloaded with information
Yeah.
that I think your brain is fully like, just read it off the thing and get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Dump it.
Yeah. Every time it says here that we're nominated for a queer tea, I'm like, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
And you
we
should
are.
vote for us.
Yeah.
But it got
I
dumped.
don't remember anything. You could ask me how my day was yesterday and I would fully say I don't even think I was alive.
See, that's good.
I don't remember existence yesterday.
Okay, I think that's a good place to be.
That is a good place to be.
Yeah.
We have a phone number.
Oh my God, yeah, we do.
Wait, put your headphones on.
This
I
is
want
like
you guys to hear it. We do have a phone number.
Are we playing it right now?
Harry, can we play it?
Yes.
Okay. You can call and leave us a message. All right.
Jockstraps. We want to hear from you. Okay. So call our line. 567 231 5928. Wait, what? 567 231 5928. Let's never regret calling, lesbian ones. Jocks will always talk.
That's incredible.
That's
Brilliant.
insane.
That's really
The
beautiful.
beat is so good.
Thank you. That was written and produced by me and my buddy Nick Gage, who also plays in my band, and we had a blast doing that.
That was really fun, and I'm so happy you got the choir to sing in the background.
Do you think you'll sing it on tour?
I mean, I feel
I literally was asked on my last tour to sing the Jocular intro.
I think you should.
I think you should.
But I don't feel comfortable singing it because your voices are also on it, and I think that it just can your voices contribute so much with the what.
Just,
Yeah, my voice does do a lot.
No, well, and that because it's like bounce, bounce, pass, and all the tags are one of you guys.
Just FaceTime us.
Okay,
I think that's pretty.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
That would actually be
The
fun.
audience would love it. If you're like, just shh. I need to hear if they're picking up.
Yeah.
Everyone be quiet. Can I use someone's hotspot?
Are we talking about what's in the group chat
Yeah,
now?
let's do it. What's up in
We
the
do
group
it.
chat?
Okay, I do want to talk about Rhea Ripley real quick.
Okay.
Okay, do it.
And we can do a deeper dive on the WWE because I do find it very athletic and theatrical.
It's all of
I
those
mean,
things.
it's all theater.
I grew up loving
Me too.
professional wrestling. Are you kidding me?
Mankind was my guy.
Love Mankind.
Yeah.
Oh my god. To this day, I love
I
Mankind.
know, me
He's a
too.
great person.
He is a really good person.
I didn't grow up like a huge wrestling fan. It was not like I remember actually having a very strong sexual attraction to Stone Cold, Steve Austin. But
Yeah, I'm
wasn't-
familiar.
I wasn't watching that all the time, and now I be watching these clips because they got this muscle mommy out there, and her signature move is pinning people on the ground with their legs behind their head and her thrusting into them. And you guys, it's doing it for me. And apparently it's doing it for the fucking audience, too.
Of course
Because
it is.
Well,
everyone-
wrestling porn is huge.
Yes.
I mean, this woman is doing it for the dykes, but she's doing it for... You don't realize how many men want to get absolutely railed.
Is she a dyke?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I don't know. I haven't
That's fine.
done any research into her background or sexuality except for she has obviously made like a big visual shift into going kind of like all black.
Okay,
like,
I need to look
black.
up. Okay, what is her name?
I think Rhea Ripley is her name. I don't ever know if I'm saying that name right, but
Okay.
I feel like the name is either you're a professional wrestler or you do burlesque in Portland.
well, this feels like a combo deal.
Okay, I'm looking up.
Wow, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Australian?
Okay, fun.
That's muscle
She's
mommy.
okay. She's doing a full like.
Oh, we're like
okay,
kind of
that's how you
goth.
spell it. Okay. She's got 5 million followers.
this is
God damn.
Okay, very straight. But that's fine.
I mean, cutie though. Hold on, let me find you.
Her little husband's cute.
I need to find the pin. She does her signature pin. Oh my god, like it is.
She's giving a fun little like
That's it.
sort of goth vibe. Okay, so what she does is she
Okay, wait.
flips the
She throws
person
them on the ground,
around.
and then she.
I see. Yeah, sort of does like a little top.
What I need to
Legs
see.
top.
I'm not seeing
Yeah,
this.
you need to see this too. This is
Okay, ready?
important.
Here we go. Let me start over. Let me.
Audience, just so you know, she's
Okay.
right now. She's picking a woman up into the air, slamming her on the ground,
Slamming
and
her
then
on her back.
thrusting into her.
And then legs
Thank
to
you.
the ears, and then topping her.
Oh, top a nod.
Top a nod.
Whoa.
Top a nod. And,
And the nod is up and down because it's a yes for me.
the caption here is eradicated.
And you can't spell eradicated without er.
That's
Okay,
right.
that's really
all I'm
true.
saying is,
That's
I need to
true.
be thrown. The opponent
See,
is
now
me.
you're
I'm in ball zone.
You're in ball
I'm
zone.
in ball
You're in
zone.
your
but
ball era.
I
your ball zone era. You are
ball zone.
ball zone. Sometimes you just want to be thrown around. There's
Yes, and I
nothing
get it.
wrong with
I
that.
get
Yeah,
it now.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want this woman to crash me through a fucking wall.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think she would.
I think she would too.
And honestly, your legs like would be just so funny to see them in the air like that.
100%.
So long.
So long. They would just keep going.
It would truly be like it just like look the exact same as a human killing a daddy long leg.
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Because when I kill a daddy long leg, I'm like,
Yeah. After I stomp it, I kind of fuck it.
I gotta
for a
fuck.
while.
I'm just like,
Speaking of fucking it up,
let's hear it.
Tian, you shared with us a woman who
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I have to look this up because I shared it with you guys on the chat. But it is a track star,
Oh yeah.
an Australian track athlete.
Okay, Australia having a huge moment
This is
today.
actually, you know what? This is we're having a huge moment for Australia.
Yeah, we are.
Lauren Ryan,
Yeah.
okay, came from behind to win the 3,000 meter race, and she set a personal best because the day before on Valentine's Day, her boyfriend broke up with her. And I think nothing makes you feel more empowered and honestly lighter, like so light that you can run the fastest you've ever run in your entire life by leaving man.
I mean, yeah, because she cut that weight. She cut about 190 pounds.
Yeah.
But you know what? Also, what a fucking narcissistic thing to do.
I
to
know.
dump a woman right before her race.
Big race
On
on
Valentine's
That
Day?
is like classic narcissism. Is like ruining a holiday, ruining a big
Yes.
event. Like
You'll never forget me.
A woman would never do that. Please do not call in and tell us stories.
Do not
do not do that.
We don't want to
We
hear.
don't want to hear it because
bad
women
stories about
don't do
women.
that. Women don't do that.
Women don't
okay?
commit crimes.
No,
No.
they don't.
If a woman does it, it was justified.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if a woman breaks up with you on Valentine's Day, no,
What-
she didn't.
No, she didn't. And what did you say to her?
And it also was probably like a peaceful like transition into this life of no longer being coupled.
See, that's the thing. If she had been a conscious uncoupling,
A conscious
life
uncoupling.
of no longer being coupled is such a funny way of calling a breakup.
That's when we made our transition
Yes.
into a life of no longer being
Being
coupled.
coupled.
it's really beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if a woman had broken up with her, she would not have won that race. If I'm being
No-
totally
oh
honest.
my God. Oh my God.
She
If
wouldn't.
a woman had broken up with me before I had to run a race, I would, you know, when they do it, they fire the little gun at
Yeah,
the beginning.
I would've
They
just-
would, I would be running for that gun. I'd be tackled to the ground. Everyone, it would be like a big thing. Like,
I would be sweating so much alcohol that everyone would be drunk.
I would be dead. I would
Yeah.
just be dead. My heart would be broken. I'd try to kill myself
I'd
with the
probably
starting
fall.
gun.
I'd
It'd
probably
be
just
over.
like kind of sit right at the starting. The gun goes off, everyone starts running. I'm sitting. I'm like, I'm having a hard time eating my granola bar. Like,
Yeah.
An honest to God truth that I think people don't realize is like, this is private, obviously.
Okay.
Wait, is this going off record?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's private for us and,
Oh,
and the
oh,
audience.
Okay.
When women who have only dated men experience their first breakup with a woman after dating men, they always, it's like such a consensus of like, this was the first real breakup they've ever had.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it does make me feel like kind of like a supremacist because I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
Sorry,
yeah.
your straight relationships are like,
No, it's
sure, they're just like not as like not as intense, but like
They're not as
like,
intimate.
No.
They're not as deep.
yeah, and sure, the government approves of them,
of course, but the
but
government,
the government doesn't.
the government
say
approves of
anything about
RFK.
intimacy, you know. So it
I
doesn't-
mean, the things that we're going to be talking about today are things that the government approves of. Like, I don't think
Exactly.
you want to be on a list
I don't
of government
know.
approved.
because it's a bad
books.
look right
It's a
now.
It's a bad look.
It's a bad
We don't
look.
want
Break up
that.
with your
No,
that's not what we
boyfriend.
want.
If you can break up with your boyfriend and run 3,000 fucking meters faster than everybody else, like,
Yeah, do it.
Did you know that Joe Rogan's no longer the #1 podcast?
Who is it? Is it
It's
Kelsey?
us.
Is
It's
it
us.
Kelsey?
It's
Oh,
us.
It's us. It's us.
we
Is
should
it-
probably go back to Harry's man.
Okay, so let's move on. And by that I mean, let's take a break.
A break. Wait, let's take a moment to
Romance is in the air for Valentine's Day. And when you're ready to pop the question, all you need is the perfect moment to come around. And, of course, the ring. At BlueNile.com, you can find thousands of natural and lab-grown diamonds, plus legendary service from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who can answer every question, help you design a custom ring, and even plan the proposal. So seize the day today. Right now, you can save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Children's Dimetapp knows the sick day struggle is real. But it doesn't have to be. When sickness strikes, Children's Dimetapp works safely and quickly to relieve cough and other cold symptoms. And your kiddos won't run from its yuck-free sweet grape flavor. Trusted by parents for over 50 years. Children's Dimetapp, your stress-less sick day solution. Use as directed.
Build a routine with Ollie that supports your wellness needs, like getting your daily vitamins and minerals with Ollie's multi-gummies, or keeping your mood upbeat with all the vitamin D in Hello Happy. Give your gut health some support with probiotics, and wake up feeling refreshed after taking Ollie Sleep. Do wellness on your terms. Find Ollie at a Walmart or Target near you or at ollie.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
consciously uncouple for 5 minutes. Is that what you call a breakup?
I think so.
get jocular. We're about to get
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the trans ban.
And I'm also, I want to say ahead of time, if you see us on our phones, I like watched part of one of our Spotify episodes, and we are looking at our phones. We're looking at our outlines so that we can like kind of in any way that we can be professional for you folks. We are not like on our phones.
Yeah, we're not on our phones.
And we're saving paper. So
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Bear
moved
with
to
us.
Spotify and we chose to go green.
So that's where we're at. Yes, today we are going to talk about the trans sports ban. And it's such a heavy thing to talk about. So we understand if this feels bad, and if we come up for air, it's just because we understand how heavy this must feel to everyone listening. On National Girls and Women in Sports Day on February 5th, President Trump signed an executive order that bans transgender athletes from participating in girls' and women's sports. The order, titled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports, gives federal agencies wide latitude to ensure entities that receive federal funding abide by Title IX in alignment with the Trump administration's view, which interprets sex as the gender someone was assigned at birth.
Did you all see that picture too?
Of
Of
all.
all, it's
That-
just it's just like wild, violent propaganda because it's all of these like young children surrounding a literal rapist,
Yeah.
like
And a rapist of an underage girl
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
like
Uh-huh.
I'm like, who are these kids' parents? But also signing something like under the guise of protecting women when he is truly like one of the most like violent public predators that we have.
Yeah.
Like I don't see, it's hard for me to understand how people can't see that or they don't want to see it.
It's very Orwellian.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
yes.
100%.
Yes.
It feels very like, it feels very upside down.
The doublespeak is intense because even when I saw, like, it came up on my feed, earlier in February of like, we are going to protect women in women's sports. Even the language of it, because for my brain, trans women are women.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, thank God. Like, okay, which agency is doing this? Because I thought it was like maybe the NCAA or something. And then I realized it was a federal ban of attacking women in women's sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is what this is. The doublespeak is intense, and the fact that the people that were most affected by this were 5 kids
Yeah.
under the age of 18. That's
just want to play sports.
That's how many people. That's the amount of people that were affected directly by this was 5 kids under the age of 18.
He spent over $250 million on anti-trans ads. Our government has spent less than that on trans athletes
Oh, of course, yeah.
ever.
That is so wildly
But
upsetting.
and I know that we're gonna like get into more specifics on this, but like at the same time this happening, it's an incredible propaganda thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we don't need to explain to our audience that trans women are women because our audience,
Yes.
the jocular audience, knows that.
Yep.
And we don't need to explain that sports are an inclusive space, that this is like actually integral to what sport is, and that there are sports that are co-ed even. So there's like we actually have precedent for if we want to get really, reduce it all to a binary, men and women have played sports together for a long period of time.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling, biggest like anti-fucking trans person on earth. Everybody in Quidditch, it's co-ed teams. like we actually, there is a fucking cultural understanding that this is okay. But this is a ploy to get us to not pay attention to the fact that we are supporting Russia's war against Ukraine, that we supported a genocide against the Palestinian people, that we are creating an economic and environmental disaster all over the goddamn world for no fucking reason except for these white men to get just a little bit richer, is evil. It's some evil shit.
But it's also like kind of like, I think it's very apt to say that it's straight from the Nazi playbook.
Of course.
Like, one of the first things that Nazis did was to burn that like sexual institute, like a institute in Germany, and like it's like an attack on queer and trans folk. They're doing it. They're trans folks. They're doing it again. And I think what a lot of people, and I say this to like my dear like cis straight friends.
Magnus Hirschfeld, that was the institute you're talking
yes,
about.
Yes, thank
just
you.
popped
That
up.
institute. And like that they don't think that this will touch. Like I get when people, I don't get when people are like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I can't be bothered with it. This actually, like, this will, like, it's the start of controlling bodies, and like, if you set that precedent, like, what's to stop them from, like, it's not going to stop them. They're going to just continue to try to control more of like women and trans women and queer folks, like, public life.
And they're perverts. And, like,
It's that's the thing is like it's
perverted.
like disgusting, like this like cisgendered transphobic idea, and it's like, oh, wait a second, so you're all just scared of men. You're scared of, you're terrified of men, and you don't want men in a space. We're not having men in this space.
Yes.
We have women in this space. We have trans women in this space. And it's just because you're so afraid, because you know that they're terrible.
Yeah.
That's the entitlement is really interesting, because I've been reading about how there are these trains in India that some of the carriages on these trains are women only.
Oh yeah, they do that in Japan too, I think.
Well, and because we're just having this like massive resurgence in fascism and honestly men's entitlement and sexual violence. These men have been like filling buckets of water and walking up to these train windows and throwing the water in to get to basically because they're angry, and like shaking the windows of these trains.
God.
And you are kind of seeing these weird acts of violence against women resurging all over the world. And because the United States is the number one leader in kind of like cultural thought, like I do believe that our fascism is spreading. If we are fascist, we make it okay for the rest of the world to be fascist. And policing gender, having half of your population stay at home while the other half of your population goes out to work for you, like policing gender is integral to a fascist capitalist system.
Yeah. So how, looking at this executive order, how is this going to impact queer, non-binary, and trans athletes when it comes to the Olympics? When it's hosted by the United States, but in one of the few states that fully protects trans athletes. And what do we say to the countries that could have non-binary and trans athletes on their teams coming to play?
I mean, I worry that the IOC is going to fully
Embrace
fall
it.
in line with
They
what
love
is
this
They
shit.
love this shit.
They do. They've been waiting for it.
They were started on it. So,
Yes, yes.
It is fully ingrained in them, and I feel like, unfortunately, I feel like they're just gonna fall right in line, and like start some sort of like roll back what little progress that they had, and start like, I don't know, poke. What was that thing that we gender testing, the poke?
I don't know the poke test, but I know that they
They literally like made people get naked in front of them.
Yes, they would have, and you would have to carry around a gender card.
yes.
Which they want to do with young girls. That was like a law. I don't know if it's been passed yet, but in Ohio they were trying to pass a law where if you thought that one of the little girls that was playing soccer might actually have
tattle
been
on
born
it.
a boy, you could ask to see their genitals. You could ask to do a genital test.
Which is insane. It's so violent.
And also, I don't know if you've, like, the thing about little kids, I've got kids in my life. The thing about children, the only thing that genders children at a young age is their clothing.
And their parents.
Well, but it's like literally the cultural markers of girlhood. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
like they've not gone through puberty. Like their voices sound the same as the little boys. And so the way that you like absolutely make sure that these girls look like little girls is you grow their hair out long and you
Pierce
put
their
them and you put them in dresses.
Yeah, 100%.
And you instruct them on which toys that they're allowed to play with, and you make sure that their soccer uniform is pink. And so it really is just like we're just saying these little bitches better fall in line or we will take them to a doctor and we will humiliate them.
under the guise of safety, which is the most disgusting.
It's perverted. It
is perverted.
It's
It is
perverted.
It's so
Absolutely.
pedophilic. It's so
is.
misogynist. It's obviously transphobic, but the really interesting part of it is and this is where I come back to that male entitlement. It seems to ring so true in the ears of men that it's very unfair for trans women to get to use women's bathroom because once they get in there, they're obviously going to rape.
Well, right. It goes
But I
back to
think
that
but-
thing
but
that
it's
it's
that-
just.
But what a
Yeah.
projection!
It's-
What a
it's such a
projection of
projection.
self! It's
Yeah.
so I as a white male, if I had a chance to go into the women's bathroom and rape, I would. So it's unfair for trans women to get that chance. It's like, what is your fucking argument?
I think it's that thing of like men entitlement. They want to be straight cis men want to be like protectors, and you're like, who are you protecting women against? And they're like other men, and you're like, okay, so you agree.
Yes,
Men
It's
are
other men.
dangerous. And then when you're like, men are bad, they're like, no.
Not all men.
Not all men.
I know. It's like, I don't need your protection while I'm taking a fucking dump in
Yes.
public.
Have you ever seen
Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, it's like, you know.
People are going to leave anyway as soon as they walk in, regardless.
Me taking a dump in the public bathroom, that's the unsafest thing that's happening in that bathroom.
Yeah. To that man who's coming in.
yeah. You better stay outside.
You
I'm
better
sorry.
stay
it's a
outside. I'm going to make
shitstorm.
you pass out
Yeah.
from the smell.
We call that the gas attack.
I mean, I don't know why, but that image, like when they talk about like quote unquote men coming into the bathroom, I'm like, where we're shitting and pissing? Like, I don't know. I just, that's all I think.
But
That speaks to the depravity of these men.
Yes.
That they're like, if I was in there and people were shitting and pissing, I'd still find a way to do some sexual assaults. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, not with me.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, then we have to eradicate you. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean Rhea Ripley style.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley eradicated.
Okay, Harry's got a question on here that I do think is helpful, and this is: when you feel despair, what are ways you look to care for yourself? So, like we're getting inundated with all this stuff, and I know, like for me recently, I kind of had like a little mental health moment when that story, the Sam story, happened.
Oh,
with that
yeah,
trans
it's
man.
horrible.
And,
Horrible.
there's such a balance to be struck here with I don't want to tune out because I actually think it's important for us to know what's happening so that we can fight fascism.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing our bodies destroyed. We're seeing our communities destroyed. We're seeing this violence happen against our people, and it's really hard for your brain not to feel it.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing?
I am setting strong boundaries with like how much I look at my phone. Because I do think it is important to be like plugged in, but there is a line that when you become, as they say, like they're flooding the zone and overwhelming us with information, I think like truly like biologically our brains cannot take that much. Like it's scientific. Like we actually can become overwhelmed with information. I have been trying to focus on 2 things that I can like read up on and try to find ways to like support folks in a local way. So like I'm focusing, like I want to focus on like trans rights and also like immigration rights. Those the 2 things. Like those are the 2 things that I am like, and I know that doesn't even that like there's so many other things. But I'm hoping that if we can all just like hyper focus on 1 or 2 things, that slowly we can start kind of like unraveling, pulling at the threads of fascism. That's what I'm trying.
It's like mentally creating like almost like small community activism.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, if you ask me to cover like these 8 subjects, like I become spread really thin.
Yes.
But if you ask 8 people to cover one of these 8 things, actually the concentration is more powerful than me being split.
1,000%. 1,000%. Last night was our first night. I feel like I talk about our gay cornhole league all the time, but was
Not enough.
our first night back for season 2. And don't worry, I made sure our team lost both games. Single-handedly, I was the reason. but it was just amazing just to be around so many queer folks was phenomenal. And so I think finding those like valve releases basically wherever you can in the community through rec leagues, queer leagues, or even a fucking trivia night, whatever it is, like coming into community, because it can be so isolating and that's what they want.
Yes.
It's really important to find that community. And also, like, my partner and I read international news in the morning to try to get a scope of what's happening everywhere, just to get like a wash of things. And then personally, my hometown is flooded, and there's a snowstorm and it's a disaster. So that's my only focus right now is Eastern Kentucky. Yeah.
Because we really can only focus on so much. And like, if we can kind of harness our energy into like helping each other, I feel like it will slowly grow, like our community, and like our like the ability to kind of fight back against what is happening. Because if we stay isolated, then they got us.
I mean, I remember you and we were in Berlin for a trip, and the way we were living in an old, like staying in an old Eastern Bloc, everything was so separated.
Yeah.
There would be like 2-lane, and then here's where you park, and then there's another 2 lanes, and then here are your apartments. They want that isolation.
Yeah.
And
that was such a crazy trip. Katie and I did a comedy theater called Boom Chicago together in Amsterdam, and we traveled to Berlin on one of the weekends, and we went to this old bar in the gay district that
Kreuzberg.
I don't remember it, but it was like, it was one of those ones that was like actually an old house.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And we went and sat down in this old house and like got our drinks like in truly a parlor, and there were holes, like head level holes in the wall, because this district used to be the Jewish district. And I found Berlin really like beautiful and fascinating, and there's still a heaviness in Berlin that like I think is inescapable. And that stuff makes me sad, because I think we have an understanding that like, oh, in 4 years this will be over, which we can't guarantee anyway. But like, no, the trauma that we inflict on each other, the trauma that like the government is currently inflicting on its own people, and then like the distrust that's being that we just lost with Europe when we went ahead and said like Ukraine should give itself to Russia.
Yeah.
The distrust that we lost with Canada, the distrust like that we created with Canada, that we created with Mexico. We're talking about decades. Decades. And like the German people have had to do so much on an economic and ecological level. Like they were like the number one welcomer of immigrants back during which crisis was it?
Just recently under Merkel.
Yes.
Angela.
And there's so much like repaying of debts. I just hope that we get to a place after he leaves. I hope he leaves, that we as a nation decide that we are going to repair what we have done on a global scale.
And Germany is so serious about like no Nazi like they are like they are so serious about not having any like pretty much just like removing any like not like anyone who can be like a white supremacist essentially, and we don't have that in the US.
No.
And we should.
And
because like allowing it to even have like a little bit of space like lets it breathe, and like it words do matter, and like those types of movements should be like squashed when they kind of peak out.
I'm sorry, but like white nationalists and Republicans and the alt-right, they are all pretty united.
I know.
And we are not. The Democrats, the liberals, the progressives, like whatever, the anarchists, like we have not united, and we're so busy policing each other for not being progressive enough or not being, whatever the fuck it is. They're not policing themselves. The Republicans are not policing themselves. And so they've been able to make these great strides. Like, I don't know what mental shift needs to happen where we start instead of looking at like the things that people aren't doing, looking at the things that they are and adding that to the team. You know what I mean? Like it truly, to bring it back to sports, it's like wishing that you're like not using a great point guard because they're not 7'2".
Yeah.
Like, no, but they're fast and they're a great leader. Like we're wasting a ton of our time. We're wasting a ton of our momentum.
And with that, we say support our trans brothers and sisters in any and every way you can.
And also start. Oh, go.
And I was going to say, let's take a break.
Well, I was also going to say, like, in addition to supporting, like, if you have some cis person like popping off in a transphobic way, call that out.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm sorry, but shame works.
Yeah.
And in this instance, like, fucking
healthy.
shame them.
Is healthy.
Healthy shame for a hateful idea. Like, fucking shame them. Mm-hmm. Tell them we said that.
Start shaming Republicans. Stop shaming each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a quick break.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
Moms, tired of overthinking every decision around what's best for your kids? Stop. Get Smarty Pants vitamins and worry about one less thing. Smarty Pants Kids Multi and Omegas support kids' overall health with 16 daily nutrients, including vitamin C for immune support and D3 for bone health. That's 45% more nutrients than the leading kids multi-gummy brand. Seems like a no-brainer, right? Get Smarty Pants on Amazon today.
And we're back. Here we are. Harry's got something planned for us.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Are you ready for a huge tone shift?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I got a game.
Woo!
All right.
I was talking to my friend Nick. You guys know Nick.
Yes.
Sure.
And he was telling me how we were talking about how all these sports these days they got all these crazy names, like these silly nicknames and stuff. You know, like everyone's calling them by this thing, and half the time I don't even know what they are. Okay. I thought, hey, this would make a pretty good jocular game.
Okay.
Because that's kind of how most of the conversations I have.
Like how the Eagles are called the Birds.
Sort of.
Okay.
I mean, you'll get more of a sense on what I mean, but I'm talking about more like historical, sort of fancy names.
Oh.
And these are real, but yeah. So I took this conversation with Nick and I made it into this game. It's called Harry Presents Nick's Game Nicknames Game. So I'm gonna give you a clue about the game.
Nick's nickname game?
Nick's Game Nicknames Game.
I love
Harry
it.
told us before this that he only had 4 hours of sleep.
I only had 4 hours of sleep.
Okay, good to know. Okay, I feel different now. I was like, what's going on?
we support it. We support it. We support it.
I'm obsessed. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a clue and the name of this nickname for the game, which are real nicknames for these games.
Say nickname one more time.
Nickname game. And you'll have to try and guess what they are.
Okay.
Everyone feel happy and excited about this?
Yes, absolutely.
Woo! Okay. If someone's worried about getting a pair, but they're not buying shoes, they might be playing in the sport known as the gentleman's game.
Golf.
Is it golf?
The gentleman's game.
Polo.
I always thought the gentleman's game was like poker. Gentleman's game. It's a cricket.
If it's poker and this was included in sports, I'm going to feel upset.
We just had a whole episode about
Is
how
it tennis?
everything's sports.
Is it tennis?
Katie said the correct answer.
Cricket.
Cricket is correct.
Thank God.
Is it the Okay, what? You're going to tell us. Sorry.
No, yeah, cricket is known as the gentleman's
How
game.
is cricket known as a gentleman's game? Isn't it a bugs game?
Hey.
All right, this is good. This is already leading to some fun conversation.
It is. Let's go, Harry.
I imagine it's a gentleman's game because what did it start in like a royal way?
You know what? I actually
I'm
didn't
sure.
do any research on it. while they
I'm
were called
sure
this
it
game.
did.
I'm sure
Isn't
it
it
did.
like the second most popular sport on earth?
I think
Yes,
it is.
it is.
It's a big one.
Well, that's because of colonizers. They really were like,
They spread
we're
it.
going to take your religion, we're going to take your land,
And
but
we're
we're
gonna
going to
give you the bug
give you the bug.
People seem to love it.
If a player is trying to avoid a hospital pass, but that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with an involuntary stay in a mental facility. They might just be playing something known as the beautiful game.
Soccer.
Football.
Soccer
it
is correct.
Soccer, isn't
Oh,
it? The
soccer.
beautiful game.
The
I
beautiful
said
game.
football.
Yeah, well, that's
Football works.
Football is
Football
is
is
soccer.
soccer. The beautiful
Soccer.
game.
2
Wow,
for
I love
2.
that.
God, I love it. It is the beautiful game in my opinion.
Interesting.
I guess maybe a fun thing. So, no, never mind. Okay.
We'll get to that later.
I think it's fine.
Whew. I haven't talked this long all day. Coming up next is if someone is working on their defense, but they aren't building a case for an impending legal proceedings, they might be participating in an activity sometimes referred to as the sweet science.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
Basketball.
sweet science.
But
The sweet science.
baseball?
Yeah, I want to say baseball.
Work on their defense.
Work on that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe
are
not their
the
defense.
earlier parts of the clue helpful?
I think so. They're not
Like,
super helpful.
There's defense in every sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so
I
not-
just when
not
I think
super
about
helpful.
like
Science.
science, I think people are. I just think of baseball for some reason.
I think of baseball too.
because they all stand around and think, but maybe it's basketball.
I'm going to say fencing.
Fencing's a good guess. No, the correct answer is boxing.
Sweet science.
The sweet science.
Interesting.
That's hot. I like that name.
Knock that science right out your head.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good, Katie.
That's really good. That's something else.
If a player is a southpaw, but not in a video store looking for the 2015 American sports drama film Southpaw, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Kurt Sutter, Jake Gyllenhaal, Forrest Whitaker, and Rachel McAdams, and not talking about the sport that movie is based on, they might be talking about the grand old game.
Baseball.
But it was an opportunity for Harry to give his hall pass list.
Yeah.
Yep. Antoine Fuqua, Kurt Sutter, Jake Gyllenhaal,
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
And
of
Reese.
course, Rachel McAdams.
And Rachel McAdams.
They can all get it. If someone's concerned about hogging, but they aren't my lovely boyfriend Jake when I'm taking all the covers, they might be playing an activity sometimes called the roaring game.
Your lovely boyfriend Jake when
I'm
you're
taking all
hogging
the
all those covers.
Rugby.
Think chillier.
Hockey. No, wait.
A little too chilly.
What's the
Okay.
nickname?
The roaring game.
The roaring game.
The roaring game. Think chili, but
Cold.
no ice.
But no ice.
There's some ice. Ice is a pretty big part of it.
Oh,
Bobsled.
curling?
Curling is correct.
Wow.
We're
That's
calling curling
The roaring
the
game.
roaring game.
Man.
I
Again?
want to hear you
roar.
Because they always play that song.
It's just like,
Ah!
yeah. It just took a second.
Right.
Now you hear it.
Now it's in. God, I'm getting irritated.
It's clear to me that I've done no research on any of this.
I love it.
Let's see.
Yes, let's see.
What's up next? Let's see. If a hot guy from your college improv group recently shaved
Impossible. Pass.
Yeah.
If a hot guy from your college improv group recently shaved his chest, maybe they just like the way it looks, or maybe they're preparing to play the aquatic version of the stick and ball game.
Water polo.
Water polo.
That's correct.
I didn't like that one.
Wow.
There's no such thing as a hot guy in your fucking improv group.
Yeah.
Harry.
Based
Have
on
you
a true story.
improvised?
Based on a true story. It's a sliding scale. It's a
Based on
sliding
true
scale.
You?
Please.
I don't need to shave my chest. There's nothing going on down there. Finally, if players are talking about hand passing, but they aren't passing to the left-hand side, They might be talking about the sport known as the Gaelic game.
Is it rugby?
Handball?
Is it rugby?
The correct answer is Gaelic football.
Oh.
There are only so many of these.
So you said the Gaelic game, but you said Gaelic in the thing.
Yeah, that was an easy one, and you missed it. That's how you play Harry Presents Nicknames Game. See you next time.
There's got to be some kind
I
of
love
penalty.
that. No, that was good.
There's a penalty for what happened.
That was really good.
Hey,
Good job.
Thank you, Harry. I always love those.
No problem. Happy to help. Thanks to Charlie for doing so much of the work, so I had time to make a game.
I love it.
We love Charlie.
We love Charlie, and we love Harry, and we love Alex.
Yeah, and Nick.
And Nick. And Jake.
And Jake.
We do love Jake.
Uh-huh.
Can you drop a pic of your boyfriend in the show?
Yeah.
You do have to do that.
No.
No, don't do that. Don't
Okay, what's up next? It's a voicemail.
Yay!
God, you guys, this is so freaking good.
My mouth is watering. I want one so badly. Do you have another one for
me?
me?
He doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, though, the turkey.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right.
So we have a voicemail line. I'll introduce it. We have a voicemail line you all can leave messages on, and I'm excited. And I'm excited to play one for you now.
Yes.
Hey, Jocular Pod. This is Shayna. Feeling conflicted about pronouns. Would love to hear your personal journeys on deciding your pronouns. Yeah, I've been telling people she, they for a couple of years now, and it just kind of feels like I should pick one. But I don't know, maybe I'm putting unnecessary pressure on myself, but I hope everybody is doing well. Thanks.
Thank you for the lovely voicemail.
Thank you, Shayna.
What a good question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as a cis person, I'm like, you don't need to pick a pronoun. Do what you want. But I also don't feel like my voice needs to be the one.
Same.
What feels good? That's the question. Is like, what feels good to you? Like, when I get she, I feel so miserable. But like, or at least I used to. When I used to hear she, I used to feel so like, it felt so sharp to me. And now when I hear she, it's so truly out of my body that I'm like, you know, it's not even like registering to me that people are talking to me. But that took time. And my guess is that you're asking because one of those things feels better to you. And you're wondering if it's a necessity to ask people to use the one that feels best for you. It is, no one likes to hear this, but it is fucking uncomfortable to ask people to use the pronouns that you want. It does feel embarrassing. It feels embarrassing to tell anybody that you want something. That I think that's a fact. Like, to just be like, it would mean a lot for my humanity if you could do this for me. Feels like a big ask, and it's embarrassing, and we're all a little Midwestern in spirit. But you do it once, and then it's done. And if you do it once and it's not done, then you just start to rule out the people in your life that don't want to love you for exactly how you love you. And I would say do an experiment. I would say maybe switch to whichever one you're most curious about for like a 6-month period. And see if you're getting that consistently, if that starts to feel really good to you. And I'm not telling you to go one direction or the other, but I think sometimes hedging our bets, if she, they feels good to you, I don't think you would have called. That's why I'm hedging my bets that one of those things is feeling better. So I would just say, yeah, buckle down on one of them for 6 months and see if that feels like a big shift, if it feels good.
I think that's a great answer.
I think that's a beautiful answer.
And my final thought on this is we find ourselves much more important than anybody else does. And so the truth is that if you do 6 months and at the end of the 6 months you were like, I am wrong about that, she feels way better to me, and you ask people to switch back, they're going to, and maybe they'll make a comment about it, but no one's going to be like, this fucking idiot. People aren't that invested. So it really is for you. You're doing it for you. Thanks for asking.
Beautifully said.
I'm sorry that you had to watch me eat a turkey jerky stick while you asked that intense question about yourself.
Maybe it helped.
Maybe it helped.
It could have helped.
Maybe it helped.
Are we getting another one?
That is all we
I
have
love-
prepared for this episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
But how do people know what number to call?
Can you turn it up, Harry?
Straps. We want to hear from you. Okay. So call our line.
It's so cunty. I think that's why it's so good.
159 28. Wait, what? 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 1, 59 28. Let's never regret calling lesbian ones. Jocks will always talk.
Jocular.
Call me.
I love it.
That sounded like me at the end.
I know, and can you believe that's my cunty ass?
Wow.
I think I was part of the choir.
You have to sing it like this. That's how you get the tone.
Well, Jockstraps, thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Jocular Pod. And thank you, Charlie, for everything you do. Thank you, Harry, for everything you do. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. And, yeah, also don't forget to vote for us in the Queer Tier Awards, or Harry will be so sad.
Yeah.
And I'll take it out on everyone else.
Oh.
I'm toxic that way. Have a
Hot
good
girl
weekend.
Bye.
I'll break up.
I think so. Let's move forward into a life of no longer being a couple.
Yeah.
And no longer recording.
And you would be like the menu would be a lot of different like pears, like literal pears, like the fruit.
Okay.
Because we're slicing them, we're separating them, we're cooking them down, we're getting rid of the pear.
But we're turning them into a beautiful pie.
Yep.
I'm allergic to pears, but
You are?
yeah, I have like a raw food allergy.
Oh.
No, we already wrapped
Wait, are we
up.
back?
No, I thought is this still the podcast?
No, no.
Okay, and we're
Okay.
back.
Great.